Thank you very much. Yes, you have said it rightly. I'm Luther and Yorfee Esquire, counselor at law. I'm a family man. I'm married with 4 children. Educationally, I hold a master's degree in international business law from the Cllr University. I also hold a Bachelor of General Laws from the Louis Ada Graham School of Law. I'm also a holder of BBA in accounting,
Okay.
also from the University of Liberia. And I hold 2 certificates in basic auditing and advanced auditing from the General Auditing Commission training program. And I'm a graduate of the William V.S. Tottenham High School.
Okay.
So
married with 4 children.
Yes.
Okay. Now you are vying for the presidency, Councillor Yorfee. When did it come to you, this decision that you've made? When did it come to you that it was quite necessary to be made?
Actually, it started sometime in 2020, but it was not clear.
Okay.
To be very frank, it was until.
It was not clear. What do you mean?
Let me just summarize.
Okay.
I had a dream one time. Then I had the second dream. In my second dream, that's when it became a little bit clear because I was sitting in front of my house and a man dressed up in white garment walked directly up to me and gave me something. When I received and observed, it was the tool the builder used to lay the blocks that they call the trowel.
Okay.
And when I lifted my head, he said, "Go and rebuild your country." And saying that, he just vanished. I got astonished.
You didn't see the face of the person?
I saw his face.
You saw his face?
Old man, yes.
An old man?
An old man, yes. So I went to a pastor nearby and explained the first dream, the second dream. And then he said, "Wow. I'm observing or understanding your dreams from 2 different perspectives. One, God is showing you that one day you will be leader of this country. But from the second perspective, you may lead a movement out of which someone God had destined will come to the leadership of this country, and the country will be successful under him."
Okay.
Those were the 2 interpretations given. But then when I was about to leave, he told me, "Hold on. Do not be tempted to join any political party. Wait. If God is ready in this dream, he will bring it to pass at the appointed time."
Okay.
So I let it. It was until sometime in 2022 when a group of friends met me and began to encourage me, "No, we need to establish a political party to rescue this country. We have seen that the politicians of the past almost 200 years have led our country nowhere. We need new breed of politicians, people who have the right ideology and the mind and the tenacity to move this country forward. And we have seen that ingredient in you. So we want to establish a new political party with you leading." Then it occurred to me, could it be that what I dreamed about and what the pastor warned me about is about to take place? Let me give it a try. And we gave it a try, and this is where we are.
But you were told in that dream, according to you, not to form a political party, right?
Not in the dream, but
the pastor told you.
No, he didn't say don't form. He said, "Don't go and join any political party." In other words, he was saying, do not hasten the outcome of the dream by joining a political party. You wait. Opportunity will present itself. So when a group of friends came and approached me, then I thought it was a dream come true by these people without any coercion or whatsoever coming to me to approach me on this idea.
So what's the name of the political party?
The political party is called Liberia Rebuilding Party. And as I said,
Liberia Rebuilding Party.
Rebuilding Party.
How many parties do you have?
We have a little over 10,000 parties all around.
10,000?
A little over.
Across the entire country?
I mean, those who have filled in forms, whose names are in our database.
Okay. Now, what is your political ideology?
Thank you very much. The ideology of the Liberia Rebuilding Party, its foundation is established on 4 major pillars.
Okay.
1, rebuilding our relationship with God and our fellow Liberians. 2, rebuilding life. 3, rebuilding our economy. And 4, rebuilding our infrastructure. These are the 4 pillars of the Liberia Rebuilding Party. And if you permit me to give
we'll go into that. We'll go into that. But the next question, Councillor Yorfee, don't you think it would have been appropriate if you had settled down for the national legislature?
No.
Why?
And let me tell you why. Look, if genuine change will come to this country, it will not come from the legislature. Because the legislature cannot produce the good that the country desires.
Okay.
If you find 2 or 3 men who are genuine in their thoughts, who are desirous of seeing this country move forward, they cannot make any significant change in the legislature because they operate on numbers. And usually the bad apples are in large number. But on the other hand, the president can make a significant change in this country if he desires to do so. If he has such intention to do that, he can bring about this change. Because what the president wants in this country, he gets it.
Because the reason why I ask, you having, headed or maybe entered government to learn a bit of politics, you just little known. You are not, well known. I stand to be corrected, though.
I don't understand when you say well known, but let me tell you this: there is time for everything.
Okay.
You see, in time past, when you look into biblical history, when the people cried for change in leadership, every time in the era of biblical history, God has raised a leader from nowhere, and that leader will be the one that will produce the goods. You may consider me to be a little known person because I've not been involved in direct politics, but I've had several positions in several places in government, in the private sector. For example, I was assistant chief accountant at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where we control millions of dollars, but not a day was short of a dime. I later went to work with the General Auditing Commission because we wanted to fight corruption in this country, to see this country progress. I began at the General Auditing Commission. At that time, John Molu was the Auditor General. I began as Supreme Auditor, and later on, I was promoted to the rank of Legal Analyst to the Auditor General. And subsequently, I had to leave to go and work for the American Bar Association. And I went to work for the Liberian National Bar Association as the first executive director.
Okay.
So I've had experience in many public areas. Look, I'm just the man prepared for this time.
So let me take you back to your background. It seems that you are keen on fighting grafts because you worked there before. You have one of your colleagues in the legal profession, Councillor Tiawan Gongro. You both share the same vision, I'm sure. Don't you think it would have been appropriate if you had joined him and then you both maybe sought for the presidency?
It could have been, but it is not. And let me tell you why. The way he sees things,
you don't see things
different from what?
How do you see things and how does it see things?
Very good. For example, in fighting corruption, you will understand that corruption is the major element that has eaten up the fabric of this country. If you don't have a clear-cut vision as to how to fight corruption, we are going nowhere. Most of them see the fighting of corruption from the angle of prosecution. I feel that prosecution cannot solve the problem of corruption. If we must fight corruption effectively, then we got to put mechanisms into place to prevent corruption instead of waiting for corruption to occur and then you try to prosecute. Now, let me give you a few examples. If I am appointed in government, maybe as a minister, and then look at the kind of audit system we have, post-audit. After 3 or 4 years, before you audit a man. Now, in this example I was just about to give, I'm appointed as Minister of Finance, for example. In the first year, I stole 5 million. In the second year, I stole another 3 million. Then you come to audit me at the end of the day. You discover that I've stolen maybe 8 million, maybe 10, 15 million, depending on the circumstances. Then you come to prosecute me. First and foremost, when people steal, they don't keep the money and waiting for the day you discover them. When they steal, they begin to expand. Maybe you prosecuted the man and you found out that, okay, The man is guilty. We are sentencing him. You may not recover the assets that the man have already depleted. On the second hand, if that guy is a smart guy, he probably will save one or a couple of millions for any future eventuality. You take him to court, maybe he looks at the judge and gives him 500,000 as bribe. He takes another 500,000.
Is that what happened in the judiciary?
It may happen. I'm giving you some.
You are a lawyer now.
I'm giving you some.
You've seen that happen before.
People bribe judges.
Oh, they bribe judges.
People bribe judges. And he may take another 500,000.
You will be held in contempt by the Supreme Court.
This is not something that is in secret.
It's not a secret at all.
People bribe, and at the end of the day, what happens?
Have you received something of that nature yourself?
Now listen, let's complete.
No, I'm just asking.
We are trying to portray an idea. He bribes the judge. He bribes the juror. At the end of the day, the juror comes down with a verdict, not guilty. He walks away a free man. Prosecution is not the best way of fighting corruption. The best way to fight corruption is to change our arcade audit system. I, a professional auditor myself, I know that post-audit does not work anywhere. So what do? We revamp our entire structure. We engage into what we refer to as artificial intelligence to help us do our job. We change our audit system from post-audit to what we call continual audit.
Okay.
By continual audit, you don't wait for 2-3 years to come and audit. You audit every day. So, for example, if you are giving a task to procure some equipment for LBS, first of all, we audit the voucher, we audit the procedure, and after you should have carried out the purchases, we audit right there to see whether your purchase amounts to what we call value for money and everything. And if not, we then take appropriate measure there and then. You don't wait for 3-4 years to do that. When you audit every day, you get desired results. I give you another example. Suppose this guy is a collector of government revenue. In the morning, you audit him. At the end of the day, while he's still in office, so say he works from 9 to 3. From 9 to 3, the auditors come and they audit every transaction he conducted for that day. He has not left the office, he's being audited on the spot. We call that spot audit. If that guy is short 150,000, it will be determined there and then something he will say, oh, I made an error. I probably deposited the money into the wrong account, or I put the money in the wrong place. It will be recovered because you discover it there and then when he has not left office. But give it 3 or 4 years, you never get that money back. So we want to prevent government from losing money instead of waiting for the money to be lost and then you come to prosecute, and most of the time you may not even succeed.
Okay, now let's see. Now you clearly explain why you couldn't join as Councillor Gonglo, despite the both of you from the same legal profession. You couldn't join his team to go for the presidency. Now, what do you work? You work with the auditing commission, other places. How much do you work as the president coming in, so that we know how much our current or our incoming president worth?
Thank you very much. And this is the biggest mistake we make in this country. We want to see how weighty a person is. How much does he worth? We do not ask how much intelligence he has. We do not ask what.
But the Liberian people don't want a broke president. They don't want a president who just come in and depending on or relying on the country's resources. So the next morning he begins to build mansion out of that for himself. We don't want to know how much the president worth.
Even if the president is worth $30 billion, he's not going to spend a dime from his own pocket on the country. This is why we make the mistake. Instead of looking at the intelligence, the capacity, the tenacity, and the ability of that person to produce, to move the country forward, we want to know how much he worth. Don't vote for a man depending on the weight of his wallet or the size of his bank account.
Are you avoiding us from knowing how much you worth? Because
I was just about to come to that. I was just laying the basis.
Okay.
I am a poor man lawyer.
A poor man lawyer?
I do many cases for people free of charge because I believe in justice. How much do I worth? Right now, I worth a little over $500,000 US.
I just thought on that. I was about to just say that you worth a little over $500,000. So that's why you have in your account now.
No, not in my account. Okay. I mean, all my assets and cash put together.
Okay. That constitutes about 500,000 now.
Yes.
That's good. Now, heading for the presidency, it's something I'm sure you're quite aware of, that is different from your legal profession and that of what you intend to do into politics. How do you intend, if at all, you were opportuned or you won the presidency, which you are really craving for? How do you intend managing your time now? Will you still go to the courtroom or not?
No, if I'm elected president of the Republic of Liberia, I'm not going to court to go and seek bread or
so you no longer become a poor man lawyer?
No, I now work for the state. If I will have to go to court, and I'm saying if I will have to go to court, then it would be where government is involved in prosecuting corrupt officials. Because I want to make sure that we fight corruption to the core.
So you wear your black gown as a president and go to court?
Nothing is wrong with that. Because we want to see to it that we fight corruption to the core. We want to be successful in everything. And one thing about me...
So then you abandon those people. I can't counsel. So it means that you abandon those poor people you were pleading for before in court, because you now become a president of the country. You no longer want to serve as a poor man lawyer anymore.
No, then you're not understanding how the legal system works.
Okay, how does it
work?
It
is not that I'm abandoning them. In fact, I will be in the position to provide more services.
But you said the only way no. The reason why
I don't have to do it myself. We have government apparatuses that are responsible. We have the defense counsels. We have the prosecutors, so I don't have to do it myself, but we employ more defense counsel to plead for the poor people. I don't have to do it myself.
So the only time you will go to court yourself is when you go to fight corruption cases?
Yes.
Then you go to court. But the old man who voted you in, if she has a court case, you will not go to court to plead for her anymore.
That's why I say you're not following the...
No, I'm just asking.
Because the president cannot be all over, then he will not...
So the president can only be all over when you know corruption cases?
Corruption, I told you, is a major catalyst that is picking up the fabric.
Okay.
We want to nip it in the bud.
So as president, you wear your black gown and go to court.
You know what? You know what signal you will be sending to the rest of the people?
No.
That this president is serious to fight corruption. That this president is ready to ensure that corruption is stamped out of this country. So
if Ma'am Mary has a court case which you were fighting for before, what you're going to do is to employ more poor men lawyers to go and handle those other cases. But you're not going to go there anymore.
If the president will be in every community, going to every magisterial court.
But this is what you were doing before you became president.
But then you're not understanding. When you graduate to another level,
level
your horizon is going to increase.
Okay.
Your functionality is going to change, and therefore you can't be all over at the same time. But you have the power to create the necessary mechanism to put in place the necessary implements that can be used to assist everybody.
What
you don't have to do it yourself. That's why you have lieutenants.
What do you think sets you apart from the rest of the candidates, including President Weah?
What
sets you apart? Yeah.
Thank you very much. This is but the best question I've heard from you since day.
Okay.
What sets me apart? Number one.
Well, the other question about why he's woman lawyer. I'll consider that.
I'll consider that.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. I enjoyed that. Go right ahead. I enjoyed the interview.
Number one, I'm a man who believes in God and operates by the precepts and principles of God Almighty. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do, I call on my Creator to direct my activities for the day.
Good.
Number two,
you're a God-fearing leader. You'll be a God-fearing leader.
You understand it very well. Number two, I do things in a very different way. I don't do things to please myself. I do things to please the general public. Okay. That's why I say we need to first mend our relationship with God and our fellow citizens. We fought war in this country. This is almost 30 years after we fought war. All the leadership we have had, not one president is thinking on how we unite the Liberian people by carrying on genuine reconciliation in this country. I am thinking about that. That's one thing that sets me apart from the rest of the people.
To reconcile
genuine reconciliation. How do we do it? We'll get to it later on. I'm sure you probably have that. Number two, the way I look at things. I look at things from a general perspective. I don't follow the crowd. I take an independent opinion. I defend it to the letter. I do not care whether you agree with me or not. For example, people talk about war crimes code. And ask any politician right now, where do you stand? If they will follow the war crime code. I have a different opinion, and I stand by the opinion. Even if I am the only one having that opinion, no problem.
Okay.
So I look at things from an independent view, and I fight for it from that perspective. And there are many others we will not have the time for.
Okay, that's set to the part.
Yeah.
Now, you've been watched by thousands of people. You are on the national television now, not only on the radio, you're also on social media. Do you care to tell us about what you intend to do when you shall have been elected as president of this country? What is it that the current coalition government is not doing that you're going to do?
Thank you very much. On day one of taking office, the first thing I'm going to do, but let me lay the business before I come.
Go right ahead.
You know, the king of Spain during the year 1813, during those days, they had a policy of survival of the fittest. You conquer a nation and you take their land and you root. He sent his general by the name of Hernán Cortés to go and fight the kingdom of Actes to conquer them. When Hernán Cortés arrived with his men, because they arrived by sea, as soon as they arrived, he put all the ships that conveyed them to that kingdom on fire. And his men asking, why will you put all the ships on fire? How do we retreat? If there is a need to retreat, he said, that's the reason why I put them on fire.
Okay.
Now you know there is no means of retreat. We either fight and conquer the enemy, or they defeat us and destroy us. No retreat, no surrender. And you know what happened? When they saw that there was no means of retreat, they fought with all their might and they overcame the enemy. We are going to bring similar view into government. On day one, we are going to come up with a bill that we wish to be legislated. From the president down to the people, government is not going to spend a dime on anybody to go for treatment abroad. Why we want that to be
from the president down to the super?
To the super.
The government will not pay anybody medical bill.
Pay or dime on anybody for treatment abroad. Because you know why? These are things that are killing our health sector. Go to many of our health sector, you don't find the necessary equipment, you don't find the drugs. Our people are dying from incurable diseases.
So you only for that bill.
Party, that's not going to happen. Now, when such a bill is passed, that will compel us in government to make sure we bring in country the necessary equipment, train our staff so that we all can be treated here. If we all are treated here, we will do our best to revamp all the medical centers. My idea is that why would somebody in District 5 be sick and run to JFK? The next man from the other end run to JFK? No. In that way, you don't have proper medical history for all the people. We are going to ensure that every district is going to have their preliminary health sector. So when you are in District 2, you can go for treatment in District 3. You can go for treatment in District 4.
So you build hospitals in all the districts?
All 7
morning hospitals? Morning hospitals?
Yes, to suit the standard of the district. Because mind you, we are going to have referral hospitals. Now, follow my idea. Every citizen in the district is supposed to have a complete medical history. Because this man may fall today, not knowing his medical history, you gave him the wrong treatment and he's gone. You cannot repair the life. But if the guy is only treated preliminarily in his district, his medical history is going to be maintained. So if he drops tomorrow and you take him, they know exactly what.
That's a good idea. How do you intend to mobilize the resources to build hospitals in all the districts? How do you?
Resources can be mobilized from time to time. If a Rome was not built in one day, set the idea in motion. Begin to implement step by step. Another way to do it is...
So your first 90 days, how many hospitals you built in those districts? Make reference to your first 90 days.
If we more understand this concept, then we have to be allowed to go a little bit. So we put in place the mechanism. We employ what we call public-private partnership.
Okay.
Where the government can cooperate with private entity to render services to the people. So, for example, a hospital in the Valentine area, let me just give you the example called Mawa Hospital or Mawa Clinic. Mawa is already functioning in that area. So we make Mawa to be the preliminary treatment center for all those in District 14. And government is going to work along with them.
But I'm being confused here, Councillor Lugo.
Yeah, you are confused.
I'm confused. You indicated that you will build modern hospitals in all of the districts. Now, you are coming now with public-private partnership and drawing an analogy that Mawa will be the one to take care.
So, no. I'm not saying Mawa will be the one. We use Mawa as the entity that we are going to start with. So we now improve their facility.
So you're not building you're not going to build a hospital there immediately.
That's what I'm telling you. We must not build in one day. Okay. You have to have a preliminary structure in place, because if you're going to build a hospital, you know it's not going to happen in one day. So you must have a preliminary structure. In most of the district, there are some notable.
So you pump in more resources into Mawa.
Work with them. That's what we call public-private partnership. They will come up with certain amount. Government will come up with certain amount. We partner in order to.
Why when they don't have certain amount to come with?
They will come in and empower in order for the people in that district, because our people must be taken care of from day one. Building a modern hospital is not going to happen in 1 or 2 days. So you must begin with the structure already on the ground in order to improve. I just told you, Rome was not built in 1 day. So when we should have done that, we are going to now bring in equipment. We are going to bring in drugs. But now, as we do this, we are going to put a monitoring mechanism into place.
Okay.
For example, we got auditors sitting at the General Auditing Commission. They are waiting for 3 or 4 years before they deploy them to go audit finance ministry or audit agriculture ministry. No. Under the Liberia Rebuilding Party, they are going to work every day, because we are going to deploy them into various entities. So, for example, the auditor assigned to Mawa that is serving now as government preliminary hospital in District 14. Now, all the inhabitants of District 14, they only begin preliminary treatment at Mawa.
Okay.
Because you see, in drug administration, they have level 1, level 2, level 3. If you are sick today, we begin with level 1. If level 1 does not work, we then step up to level 2. But if you don't have the kind of a system, the guy goes to hospital 1, the beginning at level 1, he does not feel good, he goes to another hospital.
Okay, so it's
now knowing your history, they start on level 1.
It's understood. That's your vision for the health sector.
That's just part of it. Okay, yeah, let's go to another one.
Let's talk about the economy. How do you intend to reshape the economy so that your people can have more bread on the table?
The economy. From the economic standpoint, you don't just jump into activities and say you begin to carry on reform. You must first carry on an assessment. Let's ask, what is wrong with the Liberian economy?
Okay.
Why is the economy not growing? Do an assessment to find out one major thing. What is the major leakages in the economy? Because when you have major leakages in the economy, no matter what you do, the economy will never prosper. Let me give you an example. You have a drum that needs to be filled with water, but there's a hole at the bottom of the drum. Without assessing the drum, and you just continue to dump water into it, as you dump the water, it leaks.
Your efforts will be fruitless.
Exactly. So you have to conduct the assessment. What are the major leakages in the economy for which the economy is not progressing? When you should have determined that you are ready now to begin to patch up. For what we have done an assessment now? Of course.
Okay, what
are those leakages? The major leakage in the Liberian economy is what we call importation of goods and services with less amount of export. And a major among those is the importation of rice into this country. Because our research have shown that we spend a little over $300 million United States dollars annually just to import rice into this country. That is a major leakage.
So how do you change that narrative now?
That's what I'm coming to. If the economy should prosper, should increase, should be successful, we need to now tackle the importation of rice to see how we cut that down in order to save 300 million from leaving the economy annually.
So in other words, you're not import rice again? Or is that what you're saying?
It's not going to happen overnight. Okay. This is the process I'm about to explain to you. How do we do it? Under the Liberia Rebuilding Party, we are going to first establish a tripartite committee. Tripartite to include those importers of rice in this country, number one, the government, on the other hand, the Liberian farmers, on the third hand. The government and the importers honor an agreement will work to bring in the necessary equipment. By that I mean tractors, farming implements, and the rest of it. We will work and clear the land for the farmers. Honor an agreement that every produce from the farmers will be purchased by the importers.
Okay.
When that happens, the importers will be in business, the farmers will be in business, government will be in business to collect our taxes. I hear most of the politicians saying, some of them say, we will bring in people to plant rice in this country. Why do you want to do that? You want to bring in people to take the riches out of this country and take out there? You see, most of the time, we want to outsource things to foreigners and they come and take all the money out there. No, we are not going to do that under the Liberia Rebuilding Party. We are going to ensure that Liberians will be involved to get the riches. Now, let me tell you, under that enrichment, the government, the importers, and the Liberian farmers, as the Liberian farmers produce bags of rice, the importers then buy from the wholesale and begin to bag them. So, for example, in the first year, if the Liberian farmers are able to produce, say, 200,000 bags of rice, the importers will then correspondingly reduce their importation by 200,000 to incorporate the 200,000 bags produced by the Liberian farmers, so as to ensure that there will not be a reduction on rice on the market. Now will there be an overflow? That's why you need to have the mechanism to monitor, because when there is an overflow on the market, some people will not reduce their importation, and then later on the next day people cannot produce, then you have shortage, then you have serious problems. That's why this mechanism has to be put in place. Maybe the second year the Liberian farmers are able to produce 500,000 bags of rice. The importer then reduce their importation correspondingly to inculcate that which has been produced. A time will come when the Liberian farmers will be able to produce the amount of rice we need in this country, and there is no need to import a single bag of rice. And what happens? Our farmers will now begin to become millionaires in this country. Because as they make more money, they expand, they employ more people. And pretty soon, you see people running away from urban areas because nothing much is happening. People begin to migrate to rural areas where farming activities are taking place. But mind you, not only rice production we're going to engage in, cassava farming, planting, arrow, pepper, and the rest of it. And pretty soon, you see farmers becoming millionaires, and they don't have to wait for government again. 2-3 farmers within this locality can have a meeting among themselves and say, look, let's make sure a road passes through our farm and get to the next area where we want to expand. And they can do that on their own, even without government help.
Okay.
But on the other hand, there is a danger of not involving the importers, because the importers are already into that business. They have made millions of dollars. Any attempt to leave them out will be a serious disaster. Because
so that would be a headache to figure that out.
No, I want to explain that to you now. There is a theory in economics called predatory pricing. If you fail to include the importer, they will apply that doctrine of predatory pricing. Predatory pricing functions in such a way where you sell below cost in order to fight off your competitors in the business. So if government decides we'll launch the agriculture program, we'll only work with the farmers, and the importers know that if the farmers will succeed, they will be out of business. So this is how they are going to apply predatory pricing. If you have to spend $10, for example, to produce a single bag of rice, the guy begins to sell his bag of rice at $8. He is intentionally going to lose some money, but he's trying to make sure that your project fails. Now, if you have to spend $10 just to produce a single bag of rice, it means you must sell above your cost in order to generate profit.
Okay.
But the guy is already selling below your cost, $88. Who's going to buy from you? But he's waiting intentionally intending to lose some millions, but he wants to get you out of the market. As soon as he gets rid of his competitors, he increases price in order to recover. And pretty soon, he's back in business, no other competitor.
Let's hear from you concerning education. What is it that you have on your book?
Education, very serious. Now, we condemn our education system. We call it a messy education system, but we do nothing to revamp it. Under the Liberia Rebuilding Party, this is what we're going to do. We are going to legislate what we call the Liberia National Youth Service. Under this legislation, everyone graduating from college will be on an obligation to provide 2 years of services to government.
Okay.
During those 2 years, some of them will be given preliminary training. I mean, teachers training. And then we're going to deploy them all over the country, in the villages, in the town, in the hamlet, and even here in Monrovia. Now, let me give you an example about the change that's going to bring. For example, this guy who has a degree in mathematics is now going to be sent to our school to teach mathematics. He already has a degree in mathematics. There is no problem in the high school books that are going to become problem for him. He's going to take care of everything. Unlike where we have high school dropout, teaching high school, you know there's going to be serious problem. So we're going to retrieve all of those hard-baked teachers from the school. We are not just going to get rid of them. As we retrieve them, we send them to school. Now, these college graduates are now going to be deployed. The guy with degree in biology is now teaching biology. The guy with degree in physics is now teaching physics in all of our schools. We are now going to revamp our laboratories, our libraries, build new schools, bring in the necessary equipment. I mean, in this age of artificial intelligence, we are still having children going to school where they have to sit on ground. No.
Why is that happening?
Right here in Liberia, in our villages.
Villages?
When you visit some of the villages in this country,
village?
For example, I was in Bapuru County the last time. In some of the schools,
when was the last time?
On
12 years back, or how many years back?
I'm talking about just a year back.
Okay.
Just a year back. Some of them sit on planks. Some of them have to sit on the bare ground. This is not an educational environment.
Okay.
For example, when I sat in the library at Cllr University, each student is entitled to 2 computers on his desk. You do research on one computer and you are taking notes on the other computer. We want to introduce similar thing in the library schools, where each student will have 2 computers to deal with as he said in the computer lab. More than that, when you have people who are trained in having the capacity of teaching, I mean, all over this country, because mind you, there is a revolving program. As other people are completing their 2 years, other people are now retrained and deployed into the field. Pretty soon, you will see Liberian students will tap every exam everywhere because our pupils will be well prepared, they will be well trained, and they will be prepared to go to school in any country and will come out first class.
You have good ideas, but to do, to effectuate them, it means that you have to, find the resources to do that. What's the strategy in trying to attract some resources so that you can carry out all of your programs for education, health, and all of that?
Wow. This is a very smart question. Now, let me tell you. We are sitting on riches in this country and dying of poverty. Look at our tourism sector. Untouched, we are making no use of it. Look at Gambia. Gambia is a landlocked country. But Gambia is able to generate a little over 500 million every year. I mean, United States dollars, just from tourism. We are blessed with a coastline of 250 miles. What are we doing with it? Nothing. Look at the natural, how about we call Lake Piso. What are we doing with it? Look, the first thing I would do, I would detach culture and tourism from Ministry of Information.
Okay.
Information will be there to take care of government information, dissemination, propaganda, and whatever. And culture and tourism will be blended to work together because Nothing is happening under the Ministry of Information concerning culture and tourism. Our cultural heritage is dying in this country. Most of our children cannot speak their dialect anymore, especially children born in the urban area. Most of them cannot speak their dialect. Our culture is dying. We want to revamp our culture, and tourism is the best way to go. You say, how can we raise some money? If we invest in the tourism sector, Gambia, without see, a landlocked country is raising over 500,000. Look at our forest. We have animals. Look at the Patawin waterfall. Look at the Lake Piso and many other features. When we invest in our tourism sector, let me just give you an example. Look at the Providence Island right down there. That is a serious historical fact. Let me just give you an example. If we take, there's a few in the Vatan area, I see them just dumping old cars and the rest of it. If we clear that place, and we prepared it into a serious parking lot, and we set a ferry that will take people from that parking lot straight on the Providence Island after we shall have developed it, and we close the entrance from the bridge. You have to go around, park your vehicle, and be ferried onto the island, and we have some speedboats around. That look at that muscle, or we call it Dew River or whatever. People just toilet into that river, and look, natural feature God has given us, and we're sitting on it and dying of poverty. We are going to clean that river. Look, on the weekend, people could take boat ride around that river,
you are saying that
generate sufficient money.
Fine, and then you'll be able to carry out your projects for education and health and all of that.
It's going to help significantly.
Okay, now let's hear from you. Some of your colleagues that we spoke with just yesterday, we had Senior Fraber on this platform, and he also spoke about privatization, which you are also heading for, and said you're going to run a small but effective government. Are you going to slash the number are you going to slash the civil service, or are you going to remain with the number of people you work that are in government now?
You see, the idea of a small but effective government is very genuine. You don't do it right away. If you try that, you will create serious crisis in the country.
So you will do your own win.
I'm going to do it gradually. Now let me tell you something.
Quickly.
When you begin to develop and encourage the private sector to flourish, people will willingly leave their government jobs and migrate to the private sector. Look, money attracts. If government is paying $250 US and a private company is paying $350, where you think workers want to run? You run to where they get most salary. So you can do it gradually. Because if you're in a hurry to do it, you cause serious problem. I listened to the program and I heard my competitors talking about privatizing almost everything. Look, government is not for profit making. Government is for providing services.
So you differ with them on that?
To some extent. Where I differ is the hurry to just do it right away. You can't do it right away. You will be stuck up. It has to be on the gradual process. As you develop the private sector, people will migrate, and pretty soon you find government with a small but efficient staff. Then you can now increase incentive in order to maintain those staff. But if you just do it right away, for example, I heard him talking about privatizing the health sector. At this stage, how many people are working in the economy to privatize? Now private people are only interested in profit making. They are not welfare institutions. When you privatize, even the health sector, you are bound for a serious disaster. Government must be able to provide the services. That's why I told you initially we will begin with limited public-private partnership in order to create the environment for people to be able to shift. You don't just do it right away. The Liberian people have a thing, hurry, bus driver. I heard him talking about getting the money out and then investing into mobile money. That is a very good idea. We also think about that, but you can't do it hurriedly. It must be on a gradual process. How many people know how to use the internet? How many people know how to even operate the very gadget and the rest of it? It has to be on a gradual process.
Are you certain to win the presidency, or are you hoping to win?
I believe I have won already.
You believe you won already?
Because just by sitting in this studio right now, there are people who are now shifting in thoughts. the Liberia Rebuilding Party is a party. Because mind you, look, we have not even talked about half of the ideas we have. We have a land crisis in our country that is booming. And if nothing is done, the next war we'll fight in this country will be the fight over land. What ideas are we putting into place in order to address the situation? If you to be a leader, it's not just put pen on paper. A leader is someone who is prognostic. That is, to think of problems that will exist in the
To think ahead.
Exactly. And provide solutions to avert that situation today instead of waiting for it to occur and you have to waste billions of dollars.
Okay, so let's think pessimistically now. I almost said lawmaker or lawyer. Let's think pessimistically. If I told you they didn't win the election, are you going to accept any offer from the winner?
Let me say this. I'm not a hungry man. I'm not hunting for job.
But you're a poor man lawyer now.
I'm a lawyer by profession. And the reason why I'm a poor man lawyer because I'm able to find for myself. And that's why I'm able to help other people.
So the question is, will you take offer from any of the candidates who wins the election?
I am in a hurry to help my country. So I don't have to work in the government. But if the government will ask me to transmit my ideas to them, I already have them ready. I can send everything to them. If they want, I can stay on the outside and help with supervision to ensure that these are accomplished.
But you're not accepting any appointments in government?
It may be, yes, I will do because I want to see my country.
Okay, so let's open the lines quickly, please. 0776540987, or better still 0880514096. The first caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly. Your name?
I'm Jackson. Don't call Jackie recording from here. The single village community.
Let's hear from you.
Yeah, that presidential expiring in that studio. Thank you. The brilliant idea that you get, the morning idea of developing nation, idea of developing city. We are learning from you today. I wish you would have the opportunity to get to where you want to get. Even if you not get there, let those that will win the election take you to put you a strategic era to invent those ideas.
Okay.
Because what all you are explaining are in favor. Hey, look at our two river today. Look at the cities surrounding. Those places that are going to make the money that will get culture and tourism. Just the need is that tourism to face the area, the private island, the historical area that you taught us. It made me to cry.
Okay, you made your point over it. It made you to cry. Let's take this caller. Good morning.
Am I live on your BC?
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
All right, this is Benjamin Elston. I call from District Number 4, Marshall County.
Go right ahead.
All right, I want to say thank you very much and thank to my dynamic president in waiting, Councillor Yorfee. And I do believe that Councillor Yorfee is already sitting in the presidency seat. And he understands the issue confronting our country. And I'm calling on all Liberians. Comes October 10th, this election, he's the number 20 on the ballot paper. Please live on 20th Street.
Okay.
Because 20th Street understand your problem as it relates to what confronting us today.
Okay, you made your point. Let's take this other caller. Good morning.
Good morning, sir, and good morning to your studio guests. I'm David Douglas, from Rehab Community.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so first thing, I appreciate you so hard this morning and appreciate the management of LBS and the president at large because for opening the LBS to every politician and state-run institution to air their platform so that Liberian people will hear from them. That will not be deceptive, that will not be defensive. Let us use a state radio and tell Liberian people what we will do. Because I know they are afraid to come and stay on the state-run station because you ask them all of the hard questions. What will they do for Liberia? What are their plans? And what opportunity they have before what they deal with it. So they are afraid of the state-run institution. So I appreciate this. So kind I appreciate the president and the manager of LBS for opening the LBS to every politician, just for opposition or ruling position to come LBS and tell the Liberian people what they will do for us. Thank you very much.
Many thanks as well. Many thanks. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. John.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yeah. Liberian as a whole, we need to listen to some critical people like this. Councillor Whitney, thank you very much. If we work in the path to listen to the politician and listen to the analysis and hold them by document, Councillor Whitney, thank you very much for that idea. You win or not, we'll incorporate you, or I will vote you personally.
Okay, many thanks. Let's take this other call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sober George, and good morning to the city guest.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Spring Koluba, and I do join you from District 5, the Thursday on community. You know, the idea the fellow there push is very, very intentional, and that's the rationale that the Ambassador Joseph Imampuaka has. So, kindly asking to please join Ambassador Joseph Imampuaka come to attend so that they can collaborate. Him and Ambassador Joseph Imampuaka, the idea of make the Liberian people to give a life.
Okay, many thanks. Let's take this call. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, sir, Chief.
Yes, good morning. Let's hear from you quickly.
My name is Kendrick. I joined from Peace Island.
Okay.
Yes, where I commence the pseudo guest. I love the idea and I commence. I want you to join the party so we can support Ambassador Joseph Imampuaka for really for.
Okay, you made your point of it. Let's take this other caller. Good morning.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm so happy to be part of this. Quickly to the point. This is the kind of a leader that we want. Instead of voting people who dream have failed them. And that brother seated in the studio, I think you have won my vote already. I pray that God will help us in this journey.
Okay, many thanks. Let's take this caller. Good morning. Good morning. Hello? Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, this is Chappie from Primo of Liberia County.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to your student this morning for the brilliant idea that you have on hand. I did think as you went for a excellent job, my 6 years, then you can take that seat. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning. We'll take 2 more calls. Good morning. Hello?
Yeah, good.
Oh, the call is off for the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Summer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Wellington Elton, and I'm calling you from Tokwa City in Bomi County.
Let's hear from you, sir.
I mean, something is ongoing, Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Something is really, really happening in this country. You will have these kind of people will dream and we can hear about them. There are a lot of killings in the race for you to pick up one person and the person idea is really overwhelming. This is a real idea that can promote the country. Can you just do that again? Can you just bring that man over again?
Okay, you made your point already. Good morning. Good morning, the last caller. Good morning. Hello? Your line. Okay, we can't continue with you. Your line is bad. Let's take this last caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir.
I'm Jackie Wright.
Yes, Jackie, let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you for the studio guy, the presidential aspirant. Jackie Wright calling for this to be precise. We love the brilliant idea. So, now you join the developmental president out there are doing these things for them to bring those idea and put it together and work out the nation. As he there now, even when you win, you don't win. Then you join the previous government because all of this idea that we are bringing one man cannot make, one tree can make a forest. It's just a single tree.
Okay.
So let it come in.
Many thanks.
Ambassador John Manor, we are that he started the development already. Joseph Imampuaka not developed nothing yet. Only job we are putting it. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go back to our studio guests quickly to respond to some of those concerns and we'll wrap it up. You listen to the callers.
You listen. Look, when God is about to do a new thing in the country, he raises a man from nowhere, a man that nobody is thinking about. Look at Gideon. Look at David and many other biblical characters, even the one called Jephthah, who people consider a wayward man. But when God brought him to the limelight, he was able to perform to the satisfaction of the people. Look, let me say this to you today. You know, there is a proverb that I have coined. Build fire for a man, and he will be warm for a day. Teach the man how to build fire, and he will be warm for the rest of his life. The Liberia Rebuilding Party has come to teach the Liberian people how to build fire so that we all can be warm for the rest of our life. You have listened to other politicians. God, in his infinite wisdom, has determined that I come at this time. Think about Liberia. As you go to the polling station, come October 10th, the Liberia Rebuilding Party is a party that is destined to move this country forward. And mind you, I have not even discussed 10% of my manifesto. I have not even discussed how we intend to solve the land crisis in this country. We have not even discussed how we intend to unite our people. We have not even discussed 10%. I hope to come here the next time and we can go for 2 hours. But I want to depart with this comment. The Liberia Rebuilding Party, as the name is called, is here to rebuild this country in every aspect. 4 pillars: rebuilding our relationship with God and our fellow Liberians, rebuilding life, rebuilding our economy, and rebuilding our infrastructure. And when we do this, Liberia will be on the proper trajectory where we begin to make gains. May the Lord God Almighty bless the Republic of Liberia and save the state.
He's Councillor Yorfee, a presidential candidate in our election come October 10. Councillor Yorfee, thank you very much for taking time off your busy schedule.
Thank you.
What I said, there's no second chance for first impression. Sabo George is my name.